Good Wednesday evening and welcome to the NCWLIFE Evening News. I'm Grant Olson. Before we get to what's making news, let's take a look outside our weather window where once again it was sweltering out there all across north central Washington. Boy, you can tell just by looking at our Sky-Fi tower camera from Wenatchee Heights, our cross camera looking down at the valley, a little haze in the air, and that's actually evaporation off the Columbia River and also from everything in people's yards, believe it or not. But that's what we saw along the horizon, a little bit of haze, but not much relief from all the heat. Let's go back to yesterday. We talked about it at the beginning of the newscast. This was posted by the National Weather Service yesterday afternoon. We broke it. The hottest temperature ever recorded in Wenatchee at 114 yesterday, 109 our previous record. That was at Pangbourne Airport in 2015. There's also a record of 110 going back to 1941 at the water plant in Wenatchee, but our official high, yeah, we did it yesterday at 114. We'll talk more weather and how hot we got today coming up a little bit later on. And now a few of the stories we're following for you tonight. Moses Lake police say they seized more than 2 pounds of heroin during a traffic stop in Othello last Friday. Because of heat predicted to be in the 100s, organizers of the 4th of July festivities in Walla Walla Point Park on Tuesday decided to cancel all activities and events except the fireworks show. And today marks the end of the most pandemic restrictions in the state of Washington, which means businesses can return to full capacity operation. But first, our top story tonight, Chelan County Sheriff's deputies arrested a suspect Tuesday in the mysterious death of 18-year-old Paulina Mosqueda-Rodriguez, whose body was found in March of 2020 near Horse Lake Road, 5 months after she was reported missing. The suspect is a 21-year-old Wenatchee man, Julius James Sabalos. Police obtained a warrant for Sabalos' arrest Monday from a Chelan County judge, citing evidence that he'd played a part in Mosqueda's death. He's not yet been criminally charged. Mosqueda was expected to return home to Waterville in October of 2019 after traveling by Greyhound between Wenatchee, Seattle, and Ellensburg. Instead, she was missing for months until hikers discovered her body down an embankment near the Sage Hills trailhead on March 17, 2020. Her body showed signs that she'd been stabbed and shot. Moses Lake police say they seized more than 2 pounds of heroin during a traffic stop in Othello last Friday. The Moses Lake Street Crimes Unit had obtained a search warrant on the home of 19-year-old Jose Torres Moreno as part of a Moses Lake drug investigation. Working with the Adams County Sheriff's Department, the crime unit pulled over Torres Moreno's vehicle and said a search turned up 2.3 pounds of heroin and $7,000 in cash. He was arrested and jailed on charges of possession of heroin with intent to deliver. Well, because of heat predicted to be in the 100s, organizers of the 4th of July festivities in Walla Walla Point Park on Tuesday decided to cancel all activities and events except the fireworks show. In addition, the park will be closed at 8 p.m. ahead of Sunday's fireworks. Wenatchee Valley Chamber of Commerce Executive Director Shiloh Burgess told NCWLIFE's Dan Kuntz how and why those decisions were reached.
The priority for us was to maintain the fireworks display because we know that people love to celebrate. We know they love to have their fireworks. We know we have extreme heat, which means we have extreme dryness, which means we have high fire potential. So I'm happy to say that that's happening. But then a new layer this year because of the COVID pandemic that occurred in 2020 and into 2021, we had this gathered, restriction, like what's that going to look like, but also just a heightened awareness of people's health. And although the weather forecast is projected to drop about 10 degrees, right, from the high of only being 102, and you have individuals out in that heat, so our volunteers, our vendors, our participants coming off of a heat wave, really it just was not the smartest thing to do. And so talking with healthcare professionals, talking with the public health district, it was really our call, and we said, you know what, we want to make sure the community has fireworks, but we also want to make sure that we don't encourage people to do unsafe things. The park will close at 8 p.m., so we'll close the gates. Law enforcement will come down. Our security staff will still be there. We will, request and make sure everybody leaves. So
what's the reasoning behind that, Shiloh, by the way?
A couple of of things. One, we want to make sure that the fireworks display as it comes off is, safe distance from people. So we're following all of those regular safety precautions. But two, most people will think, well, hey, it's cooler now. Potentially I can come down, but we don't have all of the other infrastructure there. So we won't have the porta potties. We won't have the extra garbage. We won't have the extra medical. We won't have all the volunteers. And so we want to make sure that we can safely provide the fireworks display and not cause a spill out of other incidents because we weren't planned or prepared in the park. So we're asking folks to watch the fireworks from other venues, be that their home or, some folks like to enjoy it on their boat on the river if that's a safe thing for them to do, or from a barbecue. East Wenatchee has probably some of the best views of it, even not those in the park. I mean, the park's beautiful and it's wonderful to be underneath them, but there's a lot of great vantage points throughout the valley.
Well, today marks the end of most pandemic restrictions in the state of Washington, and boy, we've waited a long time. Businesses can return to full capacity operation, including bars and restaurants, but it's not a total free-for-all. Orders from the state Secretary of Health still require masking for unvaccinated people indoors in public spaces, and individual businesses may still ask their customers to mask up. Large indoor events that draw more than 10,000 people also face some restrictions, but those are likely to be removed 1 month from today. Well, coming up next, $1.2 million has been approved for expanded Chelan County broadband included in the final U.S. House spending bill. The state wants to change the venue in the Douglas County lawsuit over the capital gains tax. A 2.5-hour virtual hearing on Tuesday heard from dozens of participants trying to shape Chelan County's policy on short-term vacation rentals. And you can add road damage to the problems this excessive heat is causing. I'm Grant Olson, and you're watching the NCWLIFE Evening News.
Hi, this is Brian Snyder with Black Rock Asphalt Services here in Wenatchee, your local Black Rock seal coat company. Have you looked at your driveway or parking lot lately? Is it gray and oxidized? Does it have cracks that have not been taken care of? Or do you have striping that is pretty much non-existent? Please give us a call locally here, 509-665-9769. Learn more at blackrockasphaltsealcoating.com.
I'm John Divis from Wenatchee Dental Arts, and I like to think myself as a comprehensive dentist. We are an office that treats people comprehensively for their dental problems. We do a lot of general dentistry in a broad sense. We don't send everything out. Things that we have the ability to do in the office, we like to keep in the office and under one roof and keep things as complication-free as possible. You can come to one place and have all their dental needs taken care of.
Mary Maids of Wenatchee has been professionally cleaning and sanitizing homes and businesses in north central Washington since 1998. Mary Maids uses commercial-grade cleaners and viricides. Mary Maids has implemented additional safety and sanitation protocols. They are strictly following CDC guidelines for the safety of their clients and employees. For expert help with cleaning and sanitizing your home or business, call or look up Mary Maids of Wenatchee to schedule your free estimate today.
Welcome back. In another news, broadband funding for the Entiat Valley sought by Congresswoman Kim Schreier has made it into a House spending bill. The earmark would set aside nearly $1.3 million to help the Chelan County PUD extend fiber optic cable up the valley where high-speed internet and cell service doesn't reach. A minimum of 220 homes would be served if the funding passes and the project moves forward. Schreier says the funding bill should come up for a vote in the House next month. The 8th District Democrat has sought a record amount of earmarks for infrastructure projects in central and western Washington. Well, the state of Washington wants 2 lawsuits seeking to overturn the new capital gains tax moved out of Douglas County Court. The new law taxes profits above $250,000 from the sale of stocks and bonds, and 2 sets of challengers are suing to prove it's unconstitutional. Attorney General Bob Ferguson says both cases should be thrown out by the Douglas County judge, but if not, they should be combined into one lawsuit and heard by a court in Thurston County, the home of the state capitol. A hearing on the motion is scheduled for July 13th. Well, a 2.5-hour virtual hearing on Tuesday heard from dozens of participants trying to shape Chelan County's policy on short-term vacation rentals. The practice of renting out homes for short getaways has exploded in the county, and proposed new regulations would allow that to continue with code enforcement and an upper limit on new operations.
I want to emphasize to the folks here, to our constituents, that we are working on this diligently. I know that some of you are probably frustrated over the length the time has taken, but this is not the only issue that community development in Chelan County is dealing with. We've got some other issues that we need to address that are time sensitive as well and demanding. So we're trying to find that appropriate balance here.
I just wanted to thank everyone again. I know a lot of time and energy has been put into this, and there have been some really excellent recommendations. And I know people took a lot of time to go line by line and make suggestions for us to reconsider. So I really appreciate that work, and I definitely have a ton of notes as well.
Yeah, I would echo Tiffany's comments. I do appreciate all the participation, regardless of what side of the issue you're on. You know, we have been reading everything. I actually took 8 pages of notes myself today during the course of the testimony. And I just appreciate the fact that folks are wanting to participate in this process and providing that information to us. I also really appreciate the suggestions that were made specific to the lines in those certain elements of the code.
The public has until Friday to submit written comments on the proposed short-term rental policies. About 280 written comments have already come in. Commissioners expect to discuss and possibly vote on the final document either July 13th or July 22nd. Well, you can add road damage to the problems that this excessive heat is causing. In Chelan County, tar is bleeding through the asphalt on recently chip-sealed county roads. County road crews are putting down sand in problem areas and putting up traffic warning signs. The bleeding tar problem has cropped up in several areas of the state. On Interstate 90, pavement is buckling under the heat 5 miles east of North Bend, with the 2 left eastbound lanes closed Monday because of the damage. Meanwhile, on the west side of the state, where temperatures exceeded 105 degrees in some places Sunday and Monday, 3 southbound lanes of Interstate 5 were closed by buckling roadways Monday afternoon. And in the northeast part of the state, westbound Highway 20 near Tiger in Pend Oreille County started peeling back on Tuesday. The Washington State Department of Transportation crews will be sanding the roadway the rest of the week. And finally, in the southeast part of the state, pavement buckled Tuesday on Highway 195 north of Colfax. Crews began repair work on the highway early this morning. You're watching the NCWLIFE Evening News. Coming up next, tonight's feature story and your complete local weather forecast. That and much more still to come on the NCWLIFE Evening News. Please stay with us.
Somewhere behind these doors is a family member, often alone, taking care of a loved one with Alzheimer's or some other disability, or providing care for a loved one who is not ill but only aging and no longer able to care for themselves. In the field of caregiving, this is the home front. For the home is where most Americans will live out their last days. Contact Aging and Adult Care of Central Washington for a variety of services, including caregiving, meals, and medication help.
What you're doing is ridiculous.
Well,
I mean, you might as well throw up a screen door to block the summer smoke.
sometimes it gets
When we
warm.
breathe in the wildfire smoke, we are ingesting hazardous chemicals such as acetic acid and polycyclic aromatic hydrocarbons. A lot of bad stuff, okay?
Well, yeah, that's why we...
Cardboard ain't gonna cut it.
So...
Go to ChelanPUD.org/save today.
Your search for quality patio furniture with excellent customer service is over. Blue Lagoon is proud to offer only the finest outdoor furniture and accessories from some of the most renowned manufacturers in the industry. Our showroom showcases a large selection of in-stock furniture, fire pits, umbrellas, cushions, and outdoor accessories. Our in-house outdoor decor specialist is available to help you design and custom order the perfect furniture for your unique space.
Welcome back to the NCWLIFE Evening News. The first grants are being distributed right now from the Cascade Public Infrastructure Fund. That's a new financing tool created by Chelan County back in March to help pay for public facilities projects that contribute to economic development. The fund held almost $740,000 to be passed around to local cities and districts. In tonight's feature story, Chelan County Economic Development Director Blake Baldwin explained the first allocations in a tri-commission meeting on Tuesday.
This is taking a certain percentage of revenues every year out of the rural counties tax, or otherwise known as the .09 tax, named after the 0.9% tax remittance that this return to the state or return to the county from the state on sales tax for economic development. These funds can be specifically used to fund an economic development office or public infrastructure related to economic development. And so the Cascade Public Infrastructure Fund this year had a budget of $739,200, and that's based upon the formula that the Board of County Commissioners decided upon. And out of that, we had 8 applications from 6 different applicants, and these are open to cities and junior taxing districts and other public entities in Chelan County. The county commissioners appointed a advisory committee made up of representatives, either elected or executive level staff from all of the cities in the county, as well as our 3 community councils. We have a representative from the Chelan Douglas Regional Port Authority and also the Hispanic Business Council in Wenatchee. This year, we, again, 6 projects were awarded, and I will very quickly run through that. There's the Chelan Douglas Regional Port Authority, was awarded $200,000 for the Cashmere Mill Site wood waste remediation project. The Lake Chelan Reclamation District was awarded $100,000 for improvements to its lift station number 2. The city of Cashmere was awarded $50,000 for utility development on the Railroad Ave property. That's behind Cottage Avenue by the railroad tracks. The city of Leavenworth was awarded $150,000 for an economic development project for stormwater improvements in the east side of the city behind Safeway as you're entering town there on Highway 2. Shaston Water District was awarded $124,000 for industrial water safety upgrades that are a part of their capital improvement plan. And the city of Wenatchee was awarded the remaining funds of $115,200 for their Lincoln Park project, which they are calling it's a part of a greater plan for revitalizing South Wenatchee.
Time now to take a look at your North Central Washington weather forecast, and another sweltering day all across North Central Washington. 111 unofficially today, and if it wasn't for 114 yesterday, this would now be our all-time record high. But boy, we obliterated the old record of 102 that was set in 1987. We did that about 1 o'clock this afternoon. Look at the low temperature, 81 degrees. We have now set about 7 overnight warm temperature records as well over the past week or so. 58 is normal, record low 46 in 1970. 508 our sunrise this morning, and still sunset at 9:01. Let's get right into that surface loop. There's the reason we're seeing all of that warm air. It's trapping a big dome of just heat right over the Pacific Northwest, and tonight we can expect some breezy conditions and very warm. Overnight low temperatures once again about 75. A little bit of a breeze as we get into your Thursday. Cooler but still darn hot out there. We're going to see highs on Thursday between 100 and 105, and that's better than what we've seen the past 2 days. As we get into Friday and the start of our long 4th of July weekend, a little bit breezy too on Friday, and it's going to stay unseasonably hot with temperatures between 100 and 105. There's that high pressure still just off the coast of the western United States. For Saturday, sunny and no changes. Our temperatures are going to hold steady once again between about 100 and 105 on Saturday. And then for our Independence Day on Sunday, drink a lot of water if you have outdoor plans for Sunday. Still hot with temperatures about 100 to 101 on Sunday. And then things will begin to moderate a little bit more as we get you into Monday. A little bit of a breeze to start our next work week. Still going to be hot, well above normal, but below triple digits. We're going to see highs on Monday, mainly in the upper 90s. Phoenix will actually be warmer than us after we've beat them about the last 4 or 5 days. For Tuesday, sunny and breezy once again. We're seeing a mixture of low pressure and high pressure, and that usually indicates some breezy conditions, maybe even some scattered thunderstorms in the northern mountains of Washington on Tuesday. And we're going to stay hot with high temperatures in the upper 90s. Tonight, 75 degrees, 100 on Thursday, 101s for Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, and then we cool back just a little into the upper 90s on Monday and Tuesday. And that's a look at your local weather forecast. Coming up next, tonight's sports report with Eric Granstrom and more as the NCWLIFE Evening News continues right after this.
Introducing Alpine Airman. Because every home needs a superhero to eliminate poor indoor air quality, send inefficient operating equipment packing, and cut high energy bills down to size. For heating or cooling and equipment replacement, turn to the experts and the superheroes at Carrier and Alpine Air. We offer the best deals on high-efficiency Carrier products, along with friendly, knowledgeable service and incredible savings to fit your budget.
And now it's a sports update on the NCWLIFE channel.
Yeah, I think we're all doing a lot of this right now. In baseball parlance, you don't like crooked numbers. Now, 111 is not a crooked number, but it's also not what you want to see on the thermometer as you begin a game at Paul Thomas Senior Stadium. Portland put up a bunch of crooked numbers in last night, 17-3 pounding the Apple Sox. First crooked number was in a 7-run second inning. Pickles brought 13 men to the plate against Wenatchee reliever Tyler Chipman. It got worse from there as we hear from the Apple Sox voice, Joel Norman.
Well, the Apple Sox dropped the series opener against the Portland Pickles by a score of 17-3, a big 7-run second inning. The difference for Portland in this one, they would score 5 more runs in the 5th inning, and a tough ball game for the Apple Sox overall. Wenatchee would get a run back in the second, solo home run by John Newman Jr. for his first of the season, but overall a tough ball game for the Apple Sox as they have now lost 4 in a row after losing 3 over the weekend against the Corvallis Knights. With your Apple Sox update, I'm Joel Norman.
Thank you much, Joel. The home run from Newman, the lone bright spot on a hot night at the ballpark for the Apple Sox. Portland's Leo Mosby collected 4 hits on the night, while Jacob Jablonski crushed a grand slam home run in a 5-run 5th. Two teams play again tonight. 7:35, Wenatchee trying to snap that 3-game losing streak, longest of the season. Other West Coast League action, Charlie Somm and Luis Aviles had bookend 3-run home runs for Bellingham in the first and then in the 9th to help the Bells beat Bridgefield 7-1. It was 114 degrees at game time in Walla Walla last night, where the Sweets outsweated the Cowlitz Black Bears 7-3 the final. R.J. Gordon pitched 7 innings of 1-run ball with 11 strikeouts for Bend as the Elks surprised Corvallis 4-1. Julian Kadama was 3 for 4 at the plate for the Elks. Port Angeles roughed up former Apple Sox hurler Seth Kuykendall for 6 runs in the first inning. Lefties went on for an 8-2 win at Yakima Valley. Now taking a look at the standings, Walla Walla gained a game on Yakima Valley in the West Coast League's North Division, just two games back. Wenatchee remains 3.5 back, now tied with Bellingham at 8 and 11. Corvallis' lead over Ridgefield in the South remains 3 games, with both the Knights and Raptors losing yesterday. Portland even its league record at 8 and 8 with that win over Wenatchee. Now the schedule tonight, exactly the same as last night. Ridgefield hosting Bellingham. Cowlitz is at Walla Walla. Yakima Valley hosting Port Angeles. Those all 6:35 games. Corvallis and Bend and Wenatchee and Portland getting underway at 7:35 tonight. Well, Toronto brought its hitting shoes to the ballpark last night in its opener against the Mariners, scoring 9 runs on 15 hits in a 9-3 victory. Seattle starter Chris Flexen lasted 5 innings, allowing 3 runs on 7 hits with 3 walks and 2 strikeouts. He was on the hook until Ty France helped him out in the 6th when the Mariners finally got to Blue Jays starter Robbie Ray.
France jumping on the first pitch, a deep ride out to left center and gone, tied game. Ty France, his 8th of the season, jumping on the first pitch. We are right back where we started.
Exit velo of 105, 410 feet, and it's something we talked about at the start of this. It'd probably be difficult to stack up hits against Robbie Ray. The Mariners getting 3 of them, but the one thing, that's the 19th home run he's given up this year, 16th to a right-handed hitter.
So Flexen was lifted for Rafael Montero in the bottom half of that same inning and quickly gave the lead back 4 batters later.
Well, hits it high and deep into left center. This one's gonna go. Get out of here. Gone. Boba with a 3-run home run. He breaks the tie immediately.
That ball was smoked. It's a hanging breaking ball from the reliever Montero. Now, in baseball, there's only 3 players in baseball who have had 50 RBIs and 10 stolen bases in their first 75 team games. We were just talking about Shohei Ohtani and then Fernando Tatis. You know who the third one is? Bo Bichette.
Toronto's Marcus Semien followed in the 7th with a 3-run blast to make that final score 9-3. Manager Scott Service says the Jays have a good offense that will make you pay.
Tonight I thought, start off with, Robbie Ray had really good stuff. Good fastball, good slider, certainly, piled up some strikeouts against us. But, I thought Flex did a good job to keep us in the ball game. We got the big home run by Ty France to tie it up there. But, you just couldn't hold them down. They've got a really good offensive club, and, you make mistakes, they take advantage of it, especially in this ballpark, with the power that they have. So, obviously we couldn't shut them down there in the 6th and 7th and got away from us, a little bit, but a lot of good at bats later in the game. Just, I got to give credit to Ray. He had really good stuff tonight, and certainly got us, owned us with the strikeout for sure.
Ty France, Mitch Haniger, Tom Murphy each had 2 hit games for Seattle. 2 teams are playing again. That game, by the way, is only available on radio, or I guess YouTube out of market. So for us, that means we're in the market, so you can't watch it. A couple of off-field stories. Mariner pitcher Hector Santiago is appealing his 10-game suspension and fine for an illegal substance found in his glove. Major League Baseball made the announcement yesterday of the suspension and fine after his glove was confiscated. Santiago ejected in Sunday's game in Chicago after the umpires found a sticky substance in his glove. And in much better news, former Wenatchee Apple Sox Marco Gonzalez and his wife Monica announced Tuesday the birth of their first child, baby Grace Linda Gonzalez. Born on Saturday, came into the world a very healthy 7 pounds, 4 ounces. Congratulations to the Gonzalez family. Well, the Yankees bounced back from Monday's loss in its largest offensive output of the season. 11-5 went over the Angels. Gary Sanchez, Aaron Judge, Miguel Andujar all went deep for New York. And speaking of going deep, Shohei Ohtani hit 2 more home runs to bring his total to 28.
Did he do it again? He got another one! There is no containing this dude. Number 27.
And it almost looked like he was slightly out of front. That was a changeup he hit out. Keeps his hands back and drives it out right center. It's unreal what Shohei Ohtani is doing. 27th home run of the year.
That one's hit well. And that one's gone again. He did it again. Get off me! Bring that fastball into my hands. Get off me!
How do you turn on that pitch there? Unless you're Superman.
Something else. And by the way, he's pitching in today's game. Orioles scored 9 runs in the final 2 innings, and home runs, by the way, as Baltimore crushed Houston 13-3. Also, Texas and Oakland combined for 6 home runs, and the Rangers won at 5-4 in the Bay Area. That's sports news. I'm Eric Granstrom. Grant, back to you.
Thanks for joining us, and have a great night.